How do you feel when you hear a headline that says the stock market has fallen 30%, or that it has bounced back 10% the day after the crash? Concerned, confused, or relieved? Well, you're not alone. Behavioural theory, finance theory, tells us that we tend to act with a herd instinct. But in these days of constant headlines, is that wise? And I feel quite strongly about this because I am often asked questions, or people express views, or even give instructions about their investments based purely on the latest headlines. When it comes to our money, making decisions based on data, not headlines, would generally give a much better outcome. We've had a great example of this, headlines versus data, in the oil market this week. One newscaster, famous newscaster from a big TV channel, when he's delivering bad news to us, likes to lean in on one arm, look us in the eye, and this week he said, oil prices turn negative for the first time in history as demand collapses. Well, these headlines referred to just one type of oil, which is the West Texas Intermediate oil. Although, to be fair, it is an important type of oil in the world. It referred to a logjam at the storage facilities in Oklahoma, USA. Before changing our investment decisions, we ought to actually look at some other data. And that could include, for example, the fact that the price was based on the end of a futures contract. The contract for the day after future wasn't negative. We should actually look at, well, could the USA Strategic Petroleum Reserve actually have provided more facilities? And if not, how quickly would it take us to build more facilities at Oklahoma? And if we bear in mind that the Chinese built a 645,000 square foot hospital in just 10 days recently. On the demand side of the headline, we should ask questions like, is the loss of demand structural or temporary? Is the demand just 2% above what is available is the oil 2% above the storage facilities that are available, or which is not a big problem? Or is it 20% above? And when will demand pick up again? And in cases like this, it's always useful to make comparisons. So we could ask questions like, what happened to other oil prices, like, for example, Brent crude? Are there problems in the world with other storage facilities? And how quickly do I need to gather all my data together before making an investment decision? In general, the more data we have available, the better the investment decision-making process. In my article that I wrote recently, Mistakes Rich People Don't Make, I highlighted that rich people get help. Investment managers have access to huge amounts of data, and they analyse that for us before taking investment decisions on our behalf. For day-to-day investment management, we should look to a fund manager to help. The data we know is how much we spend each month, where our money is, how it's invested, what pots it's in, if you like, when we want to retire, or if we're already retired, how much a month we actually need. We know if we have any large expenses coming up, because normally it's us who's actually booked to the cruise or agreed to buy a car. We know how many children we have. We know the things that are important to us in life. And those things aren't based on headlines. We can take an interest in the headlines for sure, but we should leave the day-to-day management to the professional investment managers who not only have the pure data, but they also have the expertise and training which will allow them to analyse it properly. The part of the data we know about our life and about our finances, that's where we should actually make our decisions. Using a good cash flow model, we should decide what we want our future to look like. And that is the headlines versus data position for our money.